We begin our French Open coverage with one of the most famous faces in the world of tennis. Maria Sharapova is chasing history here in Paris. She's won all the Grand Slams except the French Open. But as the world number 2 tells Pedro Pinto, she's ready to change that.
Maria Sharapova knows how to win a slam. Wimbledon, the US Open, the Australian Open, she's conquered them all. But clay has always been the stumbling block, keeping her from completing a Sharapova slam. Now, after a strong season on the dirt, she enters Roland Garros with a newfound confidence on clay.
I think you've said in the past that on clay sometimes you felt like you were a cow on ice. It hasn't looked like that recently, so how are you conquering the surface?
I occasionally still feel like that, and I'm sure I still look like it too, once in a while. Oh, the first few days on clay are just brutal, especially like the practices. You know, you're just getting your footwork down and the movement, and it's so frustrating. And I never crack rackets, but I mean, those first few days, like, crack rackets all the time, like two. Like, get me extra rackets. But over the years, I think the biggest key for me is just being physically stronger. So it's been nicer, less rackets cracked.
So does that mean that you like your chances for the French Open, and how driven are you to achieve that this year since you feel so comfortable?
I am, but it's a long summer. We've got so many things going on this summer. You have the French Open, which has always been a big goal of mine, because I've always said it's going to be the most challenging Grand Slam for me to win, whether it was when I called myself that, you know, cow on ice or whatever it was. But, you know, if I go there and I play well and physically I'm healthy and I feel great, there's no reason why I can't win it.
For a long time, I'm sure you got tired of hearing about it. It was about what's going on with the women's game.
Yeah, it was tough being compared to the men's game when you have, you know, such amazing rivalries. You have the top four, you know, Roger and Rafa getting to the finals. Then you added Novak to the mix, just started dominating. You know, and Andy Murray, who's kind of, you know, getting far in the tournaments, always looking for, you know, for the first big one. So there's so many stories created there that it was very challenging to be compared to that. I've said this and I still believe it. The level of the game from the first round on that you play at a women's event is so much higher than you see 10 years ago, where, you know, I mean, I kind of felt like I'd come to a tournament, you know, take the first few matches and see it as a warm-up in a way. You know, everyone would be saying in the press, well, why is it always 6-1, 6-0, 6-2, you know, and I mean, what can you really say? I mean, you try to win the match in the best way possible.
So what is the one thing that gets you up in the morning? Is it the career slam? Is it the number one? What drives you right now?
Oh, none of those things. Certainly not the first thing I think about in the morning, because you know, I've played tennis since I was 4 years old, and I mean, when you're in a match situation and you can be losing or you're winning, there's so many emotions that go into that. There's just so many feelings that even when I was away from the game for 9 months with the shoulder surgery and trying to get back, I never ever felt, and so many things that I did off the court, just great experiences, met, you know, wonderful people, got to work on amazing projects, but nothing gave me that feeling of being in those positions where I had to pull out a match when I was losing, had to close it out when it was, you know, when maybe I didn't expect myself to win. It's such an adrenaline rush, which you don't get in many things in life. Not that you wake up in the morning every day feeling like that. Because there are a lot of days where you're like, I don't want to see anyone, not the coach, not the trainer, not the fitness coach, none of you guys. I want to see my pillow and that's it. Many days are, you know, I have those days for sure.